No one expected the truth she eventually shared. Not her loyal fans, and certainly not those who spent years believing in the fairy tale-like bond between Laura and Almanzo. Was Dean truly the man she loved? Was the electrifying connection between them real or simply television magic? And what has Melissa kept buried all these years? Stick around, because once you hear her confession, your entire perception of that legendary TV romance may change forever. Many people grew up watching Little House on the Prairie, and if you did, you're definitely familiar with Melissa Gilbert. Most viewers instantly associate her with the on-screen love story she shared with Dean Butler. Their fictional relationship became unforgettable, and so did the show. Little House on the Prairie explored the life of the Ingalls family, who lived humbly in a small wooden cabin, surrounded by nature and hardship. Even though they lacked material wealth, they were rich in love, unity, and moral values. Life in that world was full of challenges. There were harsh winters, illnesses, storms, and financial struggles, yet the family never lost hope. They treated kindness, faith, and resilience as their most precious resources. And at the heart of it all was Laura Ingalls, curious, wild-spirited, and full of heart. She didn't have toys, electronics, or luxuries, but she had adventure, family, and love, and that's why viewers connected with her story so deeply. Melissa Gilbert began portraying Laura at only 10 years old, and audiences witnessed her transformation from a child into a young woman. People began feeling emotionally attached to her, as if she were someone they personally knew. As she grew older, the show broadened her storyline: school, chores, responsibility, and eventually, falling in love. This is where everything changed. Dean Butler entered the show as Almanzo Wilder, and instantly, fans noticed something striking about him. He carried a soft confidence, a calm nature, and a wholesome strength. As soon as Laura laid eyes on Almanzo, you could feel the shift, as if her world expanded in a single moment. Their chemistry didn't simply appear believable, it felt authentic. Viewers didn't just watch them fall in love, they felt it. This led fans to assume something real was happening between Melissa and Dean off camera. The tender looks, shy smiles, and emotional scenes felt too natural. And back then, there was no social media revealing behind-the-scenes reality. No live streams, no trending hashtags, no paparazzi TikToks. Nothing to ruin the illusion. Just weekly episodes, magazine interviews, and fan imagination, which made the mystery even more exciting. People whispered about secret romances. But neither Melissa nor Dean ever offered a clear answer. They avoided confirming or denying anything, letting the world wonder. So, what truly went on when the cameras stopped rolling? What kind of connection did they really share? Why stay silent for so many years? To understand that, we must go back to Melissa's childhood, long before she stepped onto the prairie. Melissa Gilbert wasn't raised on a farm, nor did she grow up in a simple small-town life. Her real journey began in Los Angeles, California, where she was born on May 8, 1964. Immediately after birth, she was adopted by actor and comedian Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane, a talented dancer and actress. Though she was embraced by a loving family, life behind the spotlight wasn't always peaceful. Paul was gentle, humorous, and often took young Melissa along to his work. She grew up around auditions, cameras, dressing rooms, and sound stages. Show business didn't feel unusual, it felt normal. By age 7, she was appearing in commercials. Her charm wasn't loud or exaggerated. She came across natural, innocent, and genuinely authentic, which casting directors loved. Her eyes told stories without trying. When she was 9, Melissa auditioned for the role that would change her entire destiny, Laura Ingalls. The producers needed someone who could embody innocence, strength, and vulnerability. When she screen tested with Michael Landon, everything clicked. Michael wasn't only the show's star, he was also its creative leader. He saw something special in Melissa, and from that moment forward, he became far more than a co-star. He became her real-life mentor, guide, and father figure. She spent countless hours with him on and off set. Melissa even grew close with his children, especially his daughter Leslie. They were inseparable, sharing sleepovers and secrets. The Landon family became her emotional safety net, especially when her own home life became complicated after her adoptive parents divorced. Filming Little House on the Prairie became Melissa's second life, almost her real life. She built deep friendships with other cast members, including Allison Arngrim, who played her on-screen rival Nellie. Melissa learned professionalism, emotional control, and maturity at an age where most kids were still figuring out playground rules. But everything changed when the show introduced the love interest arc. With the arrival of Almanzo, played by Dean Butler, Melissa found herself in an unfamiliar world of staged romance. She was still just a girl, yet expected to portray a woman falling deeply in love. And that wasn't easy. People saw Laura as a symbol of innocence and purity, but Melissa was dealing with the struggles of growing up under a microscope. She worked long days, memorized scripts, performed emotional scenes, and couldn't simply blend into normal teenage life. Fans thought Laura was Melissa. They treated her as the character, not the human being behind the character. As she entered her teenage years, her identity became tangled. She wondered who she truly was. Where did Laura end and Melissa begin? Her entire adolescence was shaped by public expectations, and acting out a storyline that involved love and marriage at such a young age made things even more confusing. When Dean Butler joined the cast, he was a 23-year-old adult. Melissa was 15. She had never dated, never kissed, never experienced real romance, yet she was suddenly told to show romantic affection on screen. She later admitted she felt extremely uncomfortable and emotionally unprepared. Dean remained kind, respectful, and professional, but the age difference made the situation emotionally intense for her. On top of that, fans constantly asked if they were a real couple. The pressure of maintaining a fantasy that wasn't real was draining. Melissa also struggled silently with misophonia, a neurological condition that causes strong emotional reactions to certain sounds like chewing or tapping. At the time, she had no diagnosis, just confusion and discomfort she didn't know how to explain. While all of this was happening, Melissa faced another enormous challenge: Hollywood's obsession with appearance. Landing a major role in the 1981 remake of Splendor in the Grass pushed her into a completely different image. She went from modest prairie dresses to revealing, form-fitting clothes designed to create sex appeal. Suddenly, her looks mattered more than her talent. The attention turned harsh and judgmental, and the pressure to transform into Hollywood's version of beauty grew suffocating. At 18, she underwent a nose job, describing it as a simple decision at the time, but it was physically and emotionally painful. Complications forced 2 more surgeries. Later, she also chose to get breast implants, not out of vanity, but survival in an industry that often values image above skill. Years later, she decided to remove them and stop coloring her hair, calling the choice one of the smartest of her life. She began speaking openly against anti-aging culture, saying that aging is a privilege, not a flaw. She chose honesty, authenticity, and self-acceptance.